Hello, it's Phillip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking, and I'm looking at a book which is published by Chrissie Lightfoot. It's online as well as being in the paper version. It's The Naked Lawyer, which is a book which she's written. There's a picture of her on the back with some blurb. She's given it a title, Naked Lawyer, RIP to XXX, How to Market, Brand and Sell You, volumes 1 to 12. The book itself has got lots of bullet points in it, to be expected for an advertising, sales and marketing manual, all that sort of stuff there. You've also got some interesting reference points at the back, and there are 12 volumes, or in fact chapters, which cover all sorts of areas which will be of interest, I think, to many people within the legal profession today as we enter a new era. Now, my wife and I have written a review of this book on Flickr. This is going on YouTube and elsewhere, and we've given it the title Uncovering a New Approach to Law with a Roar of Approval. Roar being the optimum word. Roar stands for reach out and relate. More about that in a minute. What we say is this, that this project is a new endeavour which marks author-lawyer Chrissie Lightfoot as very much a legal trendsetter with this novel approach to legal services. Just before the general election, that's in 2010, there was a flurry of activity about the business of law and the new technologies we should be using for the second decade of the 21st century. The predominant view remains that within 18 months the face of much of what we do will be changed forever. That is probably true, but how are we going to approach these dramatic changes? This book helps. Chrissie Lightfoot offers us her highly original take with a reach out and relate model so despised for its open pushiness by earlier generations who conducted business relationships in a very different way. The book is also online. The online is the nakedlawyerebook.com reference, and when you read it, the experience is slightly different from what we would call conventional titles. You can see by even the content it looks different and it has a different feel to it. Lightfoot describes it as a real life story, make that real time also, and it's a sales blueprint or life manual. Yes, many readers will be aware of such titles, and the issue has always been whether they work or not. For some they do, and for others they certainly don't. It worked for us. The Naked Lawyer does work as a patchwork of ideas, activities and the how-to approach which many more conservative lawyers, in our view, would find outlandish. Primarily it's a sales book for lawyers in 230 pages, with 12 individual chapters or volumes as she calls them, covering a journey through 11 activities after the initial introduction. So it's a manual, training manual as such. Each volume has a raw summation or conclusion, and plentiful referencing throughout to give the book the feel of a lawyer's training manual, as I've indicated, but it's more than that. Years ago there was a policy that children, probably many adults or employees as we can call them, should be seen and not heard. So the concept of reaching out and relating was a bit difficult to pursue, as one had to be quiet all the time. Those days have gone away with the general subservient society we had, so the raw model and how to go to market in 2011 replaced conventional sales and marketing with IT and rather a lot of modern vocabulary which we have here, which is both exhilarating and irritating depending on the age of the reader. The worth of the book is its sheer originality, because Chrissie Lightfoot excels in those areas the current generation of post-geek social networkers find themselves occupying under the Damocles sword of political correctness, equality, and all things hip and groovy, in the original 1930s sense of being in the groove of modernity. And it succeeds. Forget entrepreneurs like Lord Sugar and the awful "you're fired" concept. Volume 10 gives you continual stimulation, which is what successful entrepreneurs are all about. The problem with lawyers is that the answer to anything they ever wanted to do is invariably no, mainly by their regulatory bodies. With Chrissie, the invariable answer is yes. linked with "We can, Obama," and the final "yes, yes, yes," which means always be positive, amongst other things. Richard Susskind, whose many people will know, gets a few mentions for The End of Lawyers, an interesting book now in paperback at the OUP, which started a trend when the real title for today should be The Beginning of New Lawyers, as both the bar and the high street solicitor enter the entities era, and life will never be the same again. And with Chrissie it never will be, so thank you for such a refreshing sparkle of computer-driven intellect as we face the cuts, the competition, and the change to the way we do our legal business this decade, with the help of the Naked Lawyer. So it's clearly a roar of approval from us. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.